Good morning. Happy Friday. Friday the 13th, December 2024. It's time to build some AI skills with Nico, George, and Chris. How you fellas doing today?
Doing good. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right.
Good.
Uh, we're halfway through the last month of 2024.
Yep. Yes, we are.
Halfway through shipments, man. Already sad that it's gonna end soon.
Yeah, but we still have like half of the good stuff coming, which is crazy to even think about.
Right. And I will say I actually got to make my first couple Sora videos last night, so I'm excited that they did actually increase both capacity and output on that. So it seems like people can use it, and I'm not gonna lie, it's fast. Like I
And
don't know what anybody was saying in terms of like taking time to render videos, but it's fast.
I'm happy that I'm in there too as of yesterday, which I was like, come on, come on, come on.
Baller.
Storyboard feature.
Yeah.
Storyboard feature is something to
What?
be thinking about. I'm just saying, like the fact. So here's the thing, and I know we're gonna talk about shipments and we're gonna talk about like the actual like voice thing, but I have to take a minute to talk about the fact that you can say this is basically what I want to happen in a couple different scenes in a storyboard. And so one of the things that I played around with was like, hey, I want to create this inspirational video for about 45 seconds. Can you please give me five different scenes that portray these three different things in this different manner? By the way, this is not in Sora yet. This is literally in ChatGPT because I wanted the prompts for the five scenes that I could put into the storyboard that then I could generate the video. And so I'm giving it a cohesive thought or creating out of the ether a cohesive thought on this like inspirational thing that I wanted to build. And then you go in and you have these different panels that you can create that you put the different prompts and then you're like, and generate these. And it puts together your storyboard. So, yes, can you do one off videos of like samurais and ninjas and unicorns? Yes, but can you also be an ultimate storyteller in like micro blocks of time? Yes. Anyway, I'll shut up. Nico, your thoughts because you got to play with it.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, honestly. Like it is like it's not quite the same as well, I don't know. I can't I've only played with it not I would say a little bit, honestly. Like an hour is not a long amount of time to me. So I've done like a few generations and it is definitely accurate. You do have to be like pretty descriptive if you're going after something specific, but I definitely can say the image based version of it is really nice. So like if you have a starting image and you're working based off of that, it's really awesome. And then even when you're putting in prompts and you're kind of like stuck for what it is that you want to say, it does have an option for it to like take your base idea and then it just writes like an exaggerated, not an exaggerated, but it takes that and then puts it in like, and I'm guessing this is why they had, they were working with pros. It puts it in a format that you can kind of understand how the prompt works.
Yeah.
Where like the very first part of the prompt is the stylization. The next part of the prompt is sort of the setup and the context. The third part of it is the story or what it is that you're trying to depict. And then the fourth part seems to be like any additional little finite details. So, yeah, I was messing around with it, just trying to do that same thing, like doing just 5 seconds at a time to like build an entire video out of it. It is difficult for at least for me right now to like keep a consistency between each clip. I'm sure that there's some trick to like seeding the original source so that you can do a continuation, but we'll see. I don't know that I don't know how focused they are on it, but I do like it. I'm definitely gonna be playing with it like all Christmas.
So here's the fun part too. is that and I wish they would have had this for just Chat GPT in general. But when you go into Sora and you go into your little profile icon, there is literally a thing that is video tutorials. And so you don't have to start this AI being lost. You can go in, hit video tutorials, and you'll see there's a quick start video, a storyboard video, a recut, a remix, a blend, a loop. And so, like, you actually kind of can learn the tool. Because, by the way, this isn't a chat box. This is a freaking tool. This is a video editing tool. The fact that I can come in here and I can do things like I want 16 by 9 or 1 by 1 or 19 by 6. I want 480, 720, 1080p. I want 20 seconds, 15 seconds, 10 seconds. I want 4 videos, 2 videos, 1 video. Like it is a tool, ladies and gentlemen, that allows you to be super creative. But I love all of that to say, I love the video tutorials to really get you going in here. Anyway,
Yeah. And just to like put in perspective, sorry I'm distracted because I'm like I haven't done the
Too busy
work
looking at the videos.
to get in, right?
Oh,
So I'm like, all right, let me just go and, you know,
pop over.
see if I can get in real quick.
yeah.
And I I come over, log in a chat GPT, uh, and then search for Sora, and it gives me a login, and then I continue with my GPT login, and I get to the screen, and it says subscribed, like continue, right? Putting in username. This is my pen name usually when I'm doing fun stuff. Um, and it, like, is there any reason to believe I'm going to be limited in any way now that I've signed up? Like, is there some other point where it's like, oh, you're not ready, or you
So
don't have
so hover over
access?
your 480p.
Yeah.
Click on your 480p at the bottom. Yeah, and so go ahead. See how you can't click on the 1080.
Yeah.
So the 1080 is the $200 a month version.
Okay.
So like this is where it all starts to come together of like multiple platforms, the amount you're paying per month, what you're gonna actually be able to do. Because by the way, let's just be honest. If you're doing video, you want it to be 1080p. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw that out
I
there.
mean,
Like 720 maybe for some things, but it's pretty much. I mean, heck, you might even want like 2K or 4K, which may come in the future, but and I'm sure they probably already have it for like the professionals using this. So there are some limitations. Like if you go to your 5 second clip thingy down there and you click on it, right? So like if you try to do 15 seconds or 20 seconds, notice how that's grayed out. And so yes, there are some limitations to what you can do as far as things like that. You'll
right.
see there's not that you need to go in there now, but there's a little bit of a limitation, I think, in storyboard based on the smaller version as well of the length or the amount of boards you can add. But
Hmm.
yeah, anyway, but again,
But
we're talking about something that we have never had before. That if you think about it from a video production standpoint, now, by the way, when you thought about $200 for Chat GPT because it was Chat GPT, I don't know, man, if I'm upgrading. But if you think about it now with this, and you're like a video editing tool that you can start to use and build, okay, maybe. Anyway,
I mean, look how easy this is
oh, dude,
Hmm.
to use.
it's super simple.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. I wanted to make sure there's no like, because it opened earlier in the week and not everybody could get in, and
Yeah,
like, it looks, I just did nothing special to
from
Right.
get
zero
in,
to generate,
right?
it's not that difficult. Which is again, by the way, if you go over to the right hand side, Chris, to your avatar, and you click on that, you're going to see video tutorials. And literally that's going to give you the list of video tutorials that I was talking about. And within, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes,
Hmm.
you're going to be like, "Oh, the easier just got even easier because now I really understand what I'm trying to do with these things." So, and by the way, the amount of time historically that I tried to create videos that would just loop, and
Yeah.
now there's like a button, make this loop. Oh, Jesus,
Hmm.
help me. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like these, limitations that we talk about here, it's like the whole process, like don't be doing it like maxed out, like one shot. Like,
Right.
take your time, like do it in 480p and then you get to the one that you really like and then take it to the next level. Or like don't be trying to create like 20-second videos like on the first prompt. I mean, at least I understand why they put these, guardrails in to
because it is
support like
credits.
yeah,
You're paying for credits per month. And so, yeah, the what you use and the amount or size and all that. Anyway, just be careful. If you're going in here, don't go ham like Chris is saying.
yeah. But let's say just well, I got it up. Let's at least take it up to 10 seconds just to show what's possible. And it's like let's say three dudes morning
Oh my God.
show podcast
Wow,
um,
that's
about
very
AI.
specific. By the way,
Yeah.
while you're typing this, because Nico kind of leaned into this, and I want to lean into it too. Up until this point, the magical word that I've used when it comes to AI is context. Give it context. Give it context. Give it context. With Sora, and it's I don't mean for it to start with an S, but it does, and I think maybe it's just for any video generating system. But because we're in Sora today and we're talking about it, the word that I'm gonna preach from the mountaintops is specificity, specificity, specificity. The more specific you can get when you're trying to generate your videos, the more you're gonna get the thing that you're actually trying to accomplish.
One
So
hundred percent.
when you're thinking about that alligator, right, that's in the screen right now. If you're listening to this, sorry. If you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, that's what you should be doing anyway. Like you wouldn't just type in an alligator blinking, right? It'd be like alligator blinking with eyeball that has rainbow colors, very crisp black background, almost three-dimensional scales. Like you start to put that in there and all of a sudden you're going to start popping. But I want an
It's like
alligator.
it's fantasy, right? Like
Yep.
it's basically like everybody gets to be their own storyteller, and just like any story that you tell, if you think about it, I look at it like the way that some people describe things is like the old newspaper cartoons, right? Like little storyboards, quick 3 4 panel storyboards. Some people can describe things in greater detail. Those end up being like comic books, right? Like 20 pages. Some can go graphic novels. Others can write whole novels. And others can write an entire series of novels, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that's what we're talking about. Is like the more granular you get, the greater the output. To George's point, right? Like that level of detail is what guides the model to understand what it is that you want to a finite point, as opposed to just being, if you, and that's how you can kind of experiment with it, right? If you put alligator, right, and it's maybe you're looking for a certain type or something like that, and you forget that three-dimensional skin aspect of it. You just say with alligator with leathery skin, you'll end up with a leathery skin. Like it'll actually look like, should be on a shoe or something like that, because of the fact that, it's trying to incorporate that word into what it is you're doing. So it's very particular. It picks up very particularly on the words that you're using.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
those, by the way, those three guys doing a podcast look like they're having fun. I'm just
I
gonna
know,
throw that
right?
out there.
And
Right.
I didn't even ask for that part. I feel like a lot of this stuff, whether it be these tools or some clip generators, like they seem to be really good at picking up smiley interactions when it does just have free reign to pick out what it wants.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like, I mean, how much time is spent as a marketer, as a marketer team, as a marketing team, as a creative team, just finding the background stuff, the background images, the B-roll. Oh, we gotta
The
make sure
filler.
we take more just so we have B-roll so that we can use it in random places. Like that's where like this gap it should get solved immediately as long as like you don't require yourself to have all of your people in it
Hmm.
all the
Yeah,
time, right?
yeah.
And that's where it comes back to strategy. Like, um, you know, I can't highlight it enough. Like George, when you were doing your new website, and you clearly made the choice of like, I'm accepting what I felt like this was the choice. It's like we could try to do like real people and the usual like suggestion of don't have stock photos, like
Yeah.
let's put your, or you could embrace AI and then just decide that's going to be the aesthetic. Now you can use the tool like it's strategic choice, like hey, this is what we can get for just insane efficiency and still make it look really great, right? And that's where it's a strategic choice once you start using once you it if you can decide to use these tools up front like before you get started, because it is jarring like if all of a sudden you start bringing in like out of context stuff just because you can create more of it, right? So bringing it in within the creative strategy, like I think is an important choice to at least consider right now. But I mean, I no magic behind the curtain here other than Sora. You saw how fast it made this clip from nothing.
Well, and let's talk about this clip and both clips actually for a second that we're sitting here watching. And so, just for everybody who's listening, we're literally watching a couple different scenes of podcasters. I'm pretty sure that you didn't put SM7B in your.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure you didn't put SM7B in your prompt, but I want everybody to notice the type of mics or what those mics look like because you use the term podcasting, which tells you that
Hmm.
there's enough podcasters using a SM7B that the trained model believes that every podcaster should use an SM7B.
Right.
I'm just throwing that out there. Like, and so this is the thing that I want people to pay attention to as you start to do this. Like, some of the specificities that you might add are things to make it different than what's actually in the world or the norms. Because what has always been a powerful marketing strategy? Differentiation, to be
Hmm.
different. So, how do you make the things that you're generating different than what just the norm is going to actually show? Anyway, something to think about on that one. I just watch for the patterns that happen.
One of the things that I find interesting is obviously these things are going to get better over time, but what I find interesting is the the automatic product placement, right? So like the cups on the desk, at least on the shot on the right, on the left rather, um, they're not exactly, but I think we can all tell like which business offers coffee cups like that, right?
Oh, it feels like Starbucks.
Right.
Exactly.
Uh,
But the Apple computers, bro.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like to your point about the mics, it's like everything is also like perfectly branded in the same way that you would see it in real life, right? This is the one. This is the one shot where it's like,
is there a pause here? Can I pause
uh,
it?
I wish.
Yeah, because I
Okay,
want to know what that device
there
on
we
the desk that doesn't have a
go.
monitor is.
Yeah, yeah, this one right
Yeah,
here.
Yeah, I don't know what that
yeah.
is. It's like a remote keyboard for something larger than what's on the desk.
Virtual
Oh,
keyboard.
yeah,
Got two speakers and a keyboard. You just don't need to see anything when you're working with it.
Nah.
yeah, that's the soundboard or something. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
But that's
so
the
again,
thing is,
not perfection, and off of three dudes morning show podcasts about AI, right? Like, shouldn't expect perfection at this point. But to George's point, like,
But here's the thing, you've got a remix button down there, right, Chris? And so you could hit remix and you could be like, please remove the keyboard without a monitor or something along those lines and finesse the actual like footage that you're working on. So even if
Mm-hmm.
there are the errors that you see, you can tweak them. Because you could also be like, could you please have them using different microphones so they're not all the same as well? And then like see what remixes you do and tweaks and make and what happens to that clip.
We're doing it.
That's the thing. Like just inherently the ability to daisy chain your thoughts to get to an end clip that you want to export is like super
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, man, this takes it to the next level because one of my favorite things is like I don't know how most chats are gonna go with LLMs.
Right.
Like I know how I'm gonna start it,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then once I get the response, it's like, okay, we're going that direction. That's a great idea. Wasn't thinking about that.
Right.
And that kind of ideation collaboration with the AI is just so powerful.
Well, and
In
what you're talking about is the ability to pivot right now. Like I had a moment like that this morning where I was working on some stuff for a client, and literally it's like a 24-month inbound email prospecting thing that we're working on. And I got to this point where I realized, oh crap, it's writing the email to the human, not to the human that helps the human.
Mm-hmm.
Because this person, the persona isn't like me, the persona is like somebody that helps me. And so I immediately had like, and I had a large amount of this like kind of threaded out from a content perspective. And then all of a sudden I was able to pivot and be like, oh sorry, we need to redo this and this based on focusing on these, not that. And then and I'm like, oh man, that would have taken forever ever before. So A, to visualize it, B, to like change it. But anyway. Oh, now we got some orange going on. We got
oh, we
orange
got
mic covers.
still
Computers
got
have
our device.
screens.
On the
Yeah.
left, we still got our device on the table. We got a, apparently we're doing a marathon session because we got twice as many coffee cups.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
when you're podcasting, you get thirsty, brother.
we got,
Literally before you hit the button, I was like, "Can I go get a drink?" And I was like, "Never mind. It's 8:03. I guess I'll just get a drink later."
And
yeah,
look, and at the same time, they're trying to be eco-friendly, right?
it got
Yeah.
some bright orange in there. The very, some beets like,
Yeah. I
uh,
almost
Yep.
want a pair of those Beats, to be honest with you. Like, come on.
right? But yeah, to Nico's point, like the product placement, again, like any marketer, like content. If you're the one creating content in your space and there's not a bunch of other people, you're gonna be the one in these videos. You're gonna be the one in the GPT and Claude responses. Like, man, uh, just
Yeah, and I mean, like,
insanely powerful here.
there's
Yeah.
there's one part of this clip that does an automatic transition for you. So there are some clips that like hard cut. There's some clips that like transition. Like there's and that's another element that you can add to it too, right?
Yeah.
So again,
The
to
Go
Chris's
ahead.
point about ideation is like you'll see things in what it's doing that you're like, oh, yeah, I guess we could do this instead of cutting this way, or I guess we could have the camera, like even now it's a camera that's panning and rotating around the host and the guests, but you can also have camera control. You could say, camera comes up from a worm's eye view to, horizon level and starts moving back to add a different motion to it.
Which then again we go back to something we said a couple episodes ago of like knowing the term. So like the fact that you would know what Dolly is and how
Mm-hmm.
to address Dolly, not the image creator, but in video creation, a Dolly. Um, so yeah, it's super interesting. Now here's the other thing is what's really interesting. We spent a lot of time talking about Sora, which is great, but the ChatGPT voice mode got an upgrade, and there's two things that I want to hit on here. One, it's now not just a voice mode, but it's a video mode. And so if you go and watch the video by OpenAI, The one guy introduces GPT to three people that are on screen with him, and with the video, just like moving the video around. Hey, this is Bobby. This is Jenny. This is Susie. And then asks, who was wearing the Santa hat? Oh, that was Bobby. Who was wearing the antlers? Oh, that was Jenny. And so, like, it literally was paying attention to what the person was wearing and who they were and what they did and all the information that it could feed into it. And so now I want you to think about like what you could show it and start to communicate with it about or get it to remember. Now, here's the fun thing is if I think about this in the future, it's literally the technology that allows me to have a pair of glasses that has a little lens in it and then it can just recall my entire day of
Gosh.
everything I saw. And when I say, "Where'd I leave my keys?" it knows where my effing keys are so I can go and pick them up out of the couch cushion where I dropped them. No, I'm just kidding. But here's the fun part too, because it is the 12, it's shipmas, right? By the way, one thing I'll let everybody know is I did have to uninstall and reinstall for the video icon for mine to show up. So I don't know if you're going to have to do that or not as far as like to get the video icon to show up for the new feature. But there's also a little bonus feature for a little while. In that mode, you're going to have a snowflake that you should be able to see. It's going to be rolling out soon. And the snowflake, what it allows you to do is you can actually interact with Mr. Ho 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 himself because there's going to be a Santa voice feature that you can allow your kids to talk to Santa Claus and ask him all the questions that you'd ever want to ask about the elves and the reindeer. And I just thought that that was smart as heck because it's a way to get a younger generation to embrace a technology and get used to using it in a fun fashion. Where all of a sudden they're like, hey, remember when I talked to Santa? I wonder if I can talk to XYZ, ABC, whoever. Or, you know, he knew a lot about elves. I wonder if he knows a lot about arithmetic or calculation. I'm like, it's just it's cute, it's smart, but the fact that that was part of the rollout of the video feature of the voice mode is just super dope. Again, the world is changing. Like you've got to play with these tools. You've got to be building the skills. That's the bottom line.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, man. And that last feature you mentioned, it's gonna help the parents let the kids use the technology,
Oh yeah, yeah.
right? Because I see that as a challenge sometimes right now. But yeah, super powerful stuff. And it's almost like all of this is converging, like the same way that we learn as humans. Like there's technological barriers, like as you add the visual and video components, but the same way that we learn through audio, visual, reading, like all that stuff's coming together now. So it makes sense to me at the same time that, they can release something like Sora, they can also do something like add video um, to the uh, the chat. Um, I'm enjoying this new world that we're living in, and I look forward to 2025. And if you want to enjoy and grow and embrace, what's happening, please stick around with us, and we'll be here to help you build AI skills daily. Have a great day, everybody.
Nice.